Hi everybody, good morning. How are you? I'm Maureen Claffy and I'm an artist, and so are you. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I was so delighted at how many people came to learn about art and watch the video later, and I'm so excited because we're all staying home. And today I wanted to jump into color with you so that you could experience the healing nature of color. Yesterday I went to the grocery store and I got totally triggered, and I was like, oh, I don't like how this feels. And so this is as much for me as it is for you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this whenever you do. So I'm gonna angle the camera down like this so that everybody can see the paper and hopefully the materials too. I'll be moving things in and out so that, and while keeping an eye on the camera to see what you can see. Watercolor is the most gentle, beautiful medium. I'm using white paper today so that you can see the color. We will go back to the paper bags, which were so much fun. And thank you to those of you who posted about what you created. I loved seeing that. And you made some amazing things. Amazing things. So I'm going to start. This is going to be a little tricky to see because it's just a straight up pencil, straight up mechanical pencil, straight out of, you know, Walgreens. I'm just going to make a simple line on the paper. Just kind of like how we did yesterday. Okay? And I think for the purpose of our lesson today, I'm going to focus on, well, actually, I'm not going to make any promises because I really need to break out the color. So here's a beautiful color box. I make these palettes with the different types of manufacturers of paints that I really like. So in here is like Daniel Smith and Holbein and some Core watercolor. And I especially like Core watercolor because they make my favorite acrylic paints. I'm still learning about their watercolors, but when you make watercolor, watercolor is your friend. So make sure you get it nice and wet. This is a beautiful little box. It's the Sennelier box. I love France, and so I love French watercolors. And this still has sand in it from the beach, which is so cool. What a beautiful memory. And it also right here has one of my favorite travel brushes. Here's another miracle of modern life, which is water. It's fresh out of the tap, clean and ready to drink. I was thinking this morning about all the things that I was grateful for, and one of them was that plumbing still works, right? And telecommunications still works, and so does the internet. And that I think we're all going to be able to say to each other when this is over that we're better people because we were strong and we focused our minds in ways that were super positive and beautiful. So I'm looking forward to saying that about myself, and I'm looking forward to knowing and hearing that it's the same for you. So here we go with color. Okay. Oh my goodness. So one of the things that I did when I was first starting out with my art was to, I did outdoor art fairs, and I really learned how to talk about my work. Okay, hold on a second. Do you see this color right here? Do you see this color? Can you see this? This color right here? This is Holbein's Bright Violet. And I just want to bring the water over here so you can see this, just so that you can even see like when you dip it in the water, how beautiful it is. So you can see how the color kind of like drops down right here. There was a woman who came. As soon as that hits the paper, it's amazingly relaxing and beautiful. I'm gonna make sure that you can see it. There's a woman who came and told me that whenever she went to visit her mother at the nursing home, she would wear color. And I met so many interesting people when I did outdoor art fairs. And she said that there's research that proves that color is therapeutic for our brains. which I completely and totally believe, because I know that as I'm standing here painting, speaking to you, that I feel better almost immediately just by releasing paint onto the paper. So can you see how this is just a slight variation from what we did yesterday? In terms of relaxing into the medium. I hope you guys can see this. Okay, good. I really want you to be able to see the artwork. All right. So this is one color. And it goes light to dark based on how much pigment you put on your brush. And the water acts as the value agent, meaning it helps it go from light to dark. Okay? So that right there is one of the most beautiful things that I know of to calm the mind. I'm kind of just like lightly dancing over these pencil marks that I made. And I'm going to add in some yellow, just because Van Gogh used a lot of violet and yellow together. And the contrast between the two colors is so beautiful. Do you guys remember what the primary colors are? They're blue and yellow and red. So in violet, we already have blue and red together in a proportion that is heavily weighted towards red. And with yellow being a primary color here, you actually have all three of the primaries represented, but in different proportions. So here's blue. And we're going to pull a little bit of the violet into it and make blue violet, which approaches indigo. Indigo is actually made with ultramarine violet and black, and it's one of my favorite colors. So as I'm working with this, I'm thinking, okay, what's next? And orange. My soul is saying, it's orange, Maureen. So I'm trying to listen. Do you see that? If I could do calisthenics for my mind, color would be those calisthenics in terms of an immediate release from any type of anxiety or fear. These colors are available to us in nature as well, and in the natural world, most of them. And one of the things we're going to do tomorrow are draw some really beautiful branches. Can you guys see that? With my hand way up there. I'm sorry. I'm getting lost a little bit. Trying to keep in mind that you have to be able to see. Okay, so I'm blending in a little bit of orange here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, I know I said I'd do this, and I will do it when we get off today, is I'm going to post some things that you could buy on Amazon or Blick or whoever you want to order from. I really like Blick to order my online supplies. And what you can do is, I would really encourage you to buy your own box of watercolor. It's one of the most beautiful things that you can have in your repertoire of things that make you feel good. Okay, so this is a squirrel hair brush. Can you see how the water just like rolls right off of it? Don't you love to see these little areas of chaos that we can't control, how the paint impacts making dots. Love making dots. And then they fade away. So it's almost a meditation on the cosmic nature. Continual change is the nature of our lives and our universe. The only thing we can really plan on is that, did you see how this went almost to brown right here? Which is really cool. That's what happens when you put violet and yellow actually together, because when you mix all three of the primaries, it goes into a tertiary color, which I don't normally work with, but I'm really discovering the beauty of them. That's my dog, Fred. That's his hair. I just pulled it out. That's going to happen when you make art. Things are going to get in it that you wouldn't normally anticipate. And it's an opportunity for you to be like patient with life and yourself, and actually maybe consider the beauty of things that we might normally consider mistakes. I heard that in China, I'm going back in for this color. I've always been intrigued by this color, and I can't remember the name of it. I love how it looks in the pan. See, to me, that's a little bit too gray, but it does bring some beauty with it. I hope you can see that. There you go. This is a super expensive tube of color here, and I've always kind of wondered like why I didn't really gravitate towards it. It almost has like a, feels more like a gouache to me. Gouache is watercolor with a white in it, so that it's no longer transparent. So, okay, here's one of my favorite colors. Are you ready for this? Green, chartreuse, the color of hope, the herald of the spring. When we lived in Hinsdale, there we had oak trees, elms, and they had a specific, their bud in the spring was this color. And when I knew that color was up, I knew spring was on her way. And she is. Spring is on her way. And possibly, I think we all know, the coronavirus is also on her way here. And so these times that we're spending with ourselves and with family and friends are so important. So, okay. So I'm going to introduce one more color to this. I think I'm going to actually go back to kind of like this ultramarine blue and see what happens when we bleed it in here. I love, can you get comfortable with the fact that you can't control everything? Can you get comfortable with that? It'll really help you. It'll help you in your relationships. It'll help you in your life. And you know what? It's okay that we can't control everything. It's where in art, that's where all the good stuff is, in the things that you can't control. Look at that beautiful blue. How that, oh, I love that. Okay, so let's just come back up for a minute. Hello. Thanks for being patient with me. I'm learning how to work all this stuff. So I want to introduce you to some brushes. This is an angled brush. And I really like these synthetic brushes, and I like the fact that it has this angled part here, because you can scrape into your paintings, especially when you work with like acrylic. You can pull the paint down like this. Can you see how you can move it through? Today, if you have paint at home, I would encourage you to embrace chaos. Hello, hi Maura, hi Cheryl. Thank you so much for watching. I would encourage you to embrace chaos. And a really safe, wonderful way to get comfortable with chaos is with watercolor, because there's so many things that we can't control with watercolor. And there's so many things that we can't control right now. But we can control how we think about things. And we can control how we're going to allow this pandemic to impact our lives. So I want to show you something. I bought this yesterday. Can you see these? I bought this yesterday. This is Cherry Blossom. And tomorrow we're going to do a quick sketch on cherry blossom. And I'm going to show you how to embrace your ability to draw realistically. It frightens a lot of people because right away we think, it shows the fact that I'm incompetent because I can't do it. It's not perfect. Perfection is the enemy of any type of transformation or good because everything has a beginning. And so today I invite you to embrace chaos if you have watercolors at home. If you don't, I'm going to post a link, and then there's something else you can do. And actually, I'm going to run over into my kitchen and get a cup of coffee because everybody normally has like a cup of coffee next to them, and you can actually paint with coffee. And you can get a white piece of paper from your printer or something in the garbage, pull something out. I'll be right back. So, this is coffee, and can you see it? Okay, so even if you don't have a brush and you have a cup of coffee, you can dip your finger in and you can use it on the paper and you can make it move. And it smells really good. I've actually always wanted to paint with coffee. A lot of people solve problems of like fabric and paint that's too bright by dyeing it in tea. And what's cool is you can make dots. What's really wonderful is the way, when you see the way things dry, because you don't really know what to expect in terms of the way it dries. So, in this simple little painting, I would encourage you to embrace the chaos that we're experiencing and to settle into it with knowing that even though we can't control everything, beauty is very often the outcome. And that's what art teaches me continually, is it's all the things, I want to say this to you, it's all the things that you can't control that turn out to be really, really beautiful in art. And that's been my experience. So let's embrace the fact that it could be the same thing in life, that all these things we can't control are going to bring so much beauty into our lives. I hear it's already happening. I hear that there are miracles happening everywhere. So look for the post on where to buy your watercolors. And tomorrow we're going to paint a beautiful vase of flowers, and you're going to be able to do it. And after that, I've got a couple other really cool things. One thing I want you to think about is if you were to create a piece of art to remind yourself of who you are, who your family is, who you are to each other, and how you're going to weather this pandemic and come out stronger on the other side, what would some of the images be? I'm going to paint one for my front door, and I want to take you through my process of research. I research things, and of course it's going to be a heart because I love hearts, but it's going to have other things in it too. It's like, how do I want to come out on the other side of this? So look for that. That'll be what's today? Today's Friday. It'll probably be Saturday. We'll do that on Saturday. So I hope you're well. I send you all my love. Let's have a wonderful day, and I hope that you're with family and with people that you love. And if you're not, please reach out. Remember, embrace the chaos. There's beauty there. I look forward to painting with you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.